Alright, Shalom. Hey, first and foremost, before I get started, as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that ruled well and taught me this truth. Peace and salutation to the Akim that's pushing his word, the truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, waking up the hopeful elect. Alright, that's risking their lives and freedoms to do so. Definitely more so now than ever before. This is the Brother Zion Amar from the gym as Detroit by Camp. And this is going to be basically like a spiritual breakdown of this song, American Pie, by Don McLean. And Lord literally just put it on my spirit. I don't know. Now, first of all, I don't know where this song even came from in terms of across my thought pattern. You know what I mean? I don't even listen to music like this. I haven't even heard this song at all. Like, probably a good while. I probably heard it out of a movie or, you know, something. But it's been a good while. I do know that. And then, like, all of a sudden, the Lord just put these lyrics in my head. I was like, damn, what is that song? You know what I'm saying? American Pie, good old American Pie. However the lyrics go, we're going to read it. But just the tune was just, playing in my head. And so, nonetheless, it inspired me to just do a lesson on it. Because I was like, let me go check out the lyrics and see what the lyrics actually say. And there's definitely some spiritual meat there, so I'm just going to read the lyrics, and as I read the lyrics, I may quote some precepts that, may align with these certain lyrics. Also, as I'm saying this, I feel like Apostle Tahar, or maybe one of the apostles or elders, and some years ago, a good long while ago, I feel like they might have mentioned this song, breaking down America or something to that effect. I can't quite put all the thoughts together, but I just feel like I've heard one of the apostles or elders bring this out. But nonetheless, we're going to read it and let's see where this goes. So this is again, the song American Pie, all right, by Don McLean. And in a nutshell, right, this reminds me of Babylon falling, Babylon being destroyed, right? It's almost like this could be utilized as a curtain call or rolling credits for America being destroyed, But let's see here. It says, verse 1, a long, long time ago, I can still remember how that music used to make me smile. And I knew if I had a chance that I could make the people dance. All right, the mirth, all right, the scriptures speak about, a cry for wine in the streets. The scriptures talk about, basically mirth. Is that Isaiah? I feel like in 24. I want to say Isaiah 24 chapter. It basically taught us about how. Let me just get it. I don't want to butcher that. Let's see here. Mirth. Let's do this. This is Isaiah 24:3. It says, the land shall be utterly empty and utterly spoiled, for Yahweh has spoken this word. Let me jump down. So now it's Okay, it says, verse 7, the new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh. All right, the vine being the Israelites. All right, all the merry-hearted, all right, being the Israelites, 2/3 of our people. heathen nations, just Americans, Babylonians in general. All right, they do side. Why are they signed? Because, hey, America's not what it once was, right? No jobs or lack of jobs, lack of food scarcities, all right? Don't have money to pay your mortgage, your rent, car payments, so on and so forth. Can't go on trips like you used to. Can't have family outings and all this. That's the mirth ceasing. All right, it says the mirth of Tabret ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth. The joy of the harp ceaseth. Music is played out, these movies played out. People on social media front like they, doing it big, or they got it all together, but we know in reality and inside, all right, they're mourning. All right, they're looking for a way out. All right, going back, it says, and maybe they'd be happy for a while, but February made me shiver with every paper I deliver. Bad news on the doorstep, every day we wake up, it's like, what didn't happen now? As the Apostle Tahar often says, you miss a day, you miss a lot, Just, last Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, where you had earthquakes, like, in various parts of the earth, with Colombia, India, I remember off the top of my head, some other locations, but just getting hit with a barrage of earthquakes. Hell, you got Indiana right now that's out of power, right? Totally blacked out. Just I think it was a tornado in, that might have been Indiana as well, but nonetheless, just a lot of weather circumstances of biblical proportions. How they'll say unprecedented, things like that. The things that's happening now has not happened, of this magnitude in the earth. All right, these are telltale signs, tokens, all right, to let you know that we're at the end. All right. I couldn't take one more step. I can't remember if I cried, right, when I read about his widowed bride being, well, shoot, we can attach that to America, as America being the whore, the woman, that ride on the beast. All right, America again being that woman, the beast being NATO and EU. All right, namely NATO. NATO and the EU, excuse me. It says, but something touched me deep inside. The day the music died, again. When the music dies, all right, the potter is over. All right, the scriptures say, hey, we would have healed Babylon, but she can't be healed. Just, hey, this place is having a grand closing. Look at your businesses, right? You go down any major roadway, hell, dare I say across America, you're going to see a lot of police signs, right? A lot of these big office buildings, real decked out, right? Glass buildings and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? It might have been some type of tech company that once occupied the space, but now these places are, they're for sale or they're for lease. They can't find no businesses want to take on brick and mortar anyway, because a lot of things are being done, via the internet, online. Americans do online shopping now, right? They don't have to lift a finger. They don't have to, get dressed, get in their car. None of that. They don't have to commute to go obtain the things that they obtain. And again, that's if they can afford it. All right. Let's jump down. All right. This is the chorus that says, "So bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry." Now, levee is basically like a dam, a partition, that keeps water from flooding, dry land or whatever. I.e., what's that down in Louisiana, where they say the levees broke. They didn't break. That's all I'm gonna say about that. They were destroyed. All right. By you know who, or you should know who. But I attribute this to the Euphrates River. All right, the scriptures talk about Euphrates drying up. It's that Revelation the 16th chapter. All right, to do what? To prepare the way for the kings of the east. Iran, right, India, all right, just to name a few. All right, and what's that being done for? All right, the Lord's ushering the battle of World War III. The war to end all wars. All right, you got America over there trying to flex, trying to obtain the Strait of Hormuz, control the Strait of Hormuz, which is a choke point of a lot of, chiefly two main things, all right, oil and fertilizer. Without these two things, you can just about crush any economy, all right, because in America, everything runs off oil. You know what I'm saying? If it's not that, everything is contained in what? Plastic, which is chief ingredient of plastic is oil. Fertilizer, right, for your crops. So this place is devastating. You know what I'm saying, with that warfare with America and Iran. All right. Let's see. Levee was dry, and them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye. Good old boys, basically American Edomite, so-called white people. All right, again, we say so-called white because they're not that. They're red, as the Lord calls them, Edomites. Edomite means red man. All right. Adawam in the Hebrew, again meaning red. Let's see where we at. This, rise singing, this will be the day that I die. This be that day that I die. And we're seeing that. A lot of Edomites, right? Often their family and themselves. All right? A lot of these guys, especially this might have been, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago, you had a lot of basically like bankers, people that deal with money, lots of money, big money accounts and things like that, were offering themselves. Excuse me, what happened? That was Satan. Offering themselves. Right, you got a lot of Edomites in general where they're killing, the wife, kid, the dog, and themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because you got Esau in his kingdom and he's not prospering anymore. All right? They see the downfall coming. They see and they know that things are not normal. So you got a lot of Edomites that's just putting themselves out of their misery, right? Let's see. Verse 2, it says, did you write the book of love? Hey, the book of love, hey, that's the scriptures. You know? The Lord said that if you love me, keep my commandments. Right? So yeah, the book of love, right? And the people that the Heavenly Father loves are the Israelites. Right? We are the Lord's inheritance. When I say me, we, so like me, Lord willing, all right? There's all brothers, but in terms of being part of the elect. But when I say we, I'm speaking of, all right, you so-called Negroes, Latins, and Native Americans. All right, you are the Israelites that the Bible is speaking of, as well as the Israelite foreigners, meaning, all right, Israelites that appear or look like the heathen nations. All right, they're Israelites, but they may look, they have the appearance of a Chinese man, or the appearance of a Japanese man, or an African, or an Arab. All right, so you can understand. All right, but in reality, you know, on a spiritual level, their seed and bloodline actually goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right. Let's see what else. Come on. So yeah, did you write the book of love? This is Satan doing. It's like as I try to read, see, this is interesting. As I'm trying to read, right, verse 2, having some complications with this site all of a sudden. But anyway, it says, and do you have faith in God above? That's right, which faith is a gift of the Most High Yahweh. Everyone doesn't have it. Anti-Christians, you don't have it because you don't believe, all right, on Yahweh Shai, as the scriptures say. You don't believe the prophecies, all right. You scoff, all right, the men of the Lord, all right. You come with your own vain opinion and rhetoric of what you think the Bible is saying, all right. They hung up on things like John 3:16 still. Hey, and that's why the scriptures say, hey, he that is just, let him be just still. He that is filthy, let him be filthy still. Roughly paraphrasing, because you got 2/3 of our people, they just not going to get right. They're not going to get it on this side. You know what I'm saying? And so be it. Let's see. It says, if the Bible tells you so, and do you have faith in God above if the Bible tells you so? How do you believe in rock and roll? Can music save your mortal soul? And it's rock, the rock, Yahweh Shai. All right, the roll, the scriptures. All right, the Lord told Ezekiel to eat this roll. Right? The rock again, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is that chief cornerstone. This music, meaning this song, all right, what's that, Revelation 14? No one can sing the song, save the 144,000, which is the elect, 12,000 from each tribe, all right? 12 tribes, all right? 12,000 times 12 is 144,000, yeah. And this is Satan, he big mad. I'm not doing this just as I'm trying to read through this second verse, it's tripping out. Anyway, it says, can you teach me how to dance real slow? Well, I know that you're in love with him, because I saw you dancing in the gym. You both kicked off your shoes. Man, I dig those rhythm and blues. I was lonely, teenage bouncing buck with a pink carnation and a pickup truck. but I knew I was out of luck that the day the music died. I ain't really got nothing for that. Kind of just doing this off the cuff, you know what I'm saying? But again, this song, to me, you know, I speak as a man, represents, all right, the downfall of Babylon. And we're seeing it, we're witnessing it. You know, and it's a beautiful thing. All right, see, the Lord gave us comfort, He gave us hope. All right, via the Holy Spirit to understand these scriptures. All right, and to know that, hey, this incarnation, all right, this life that we're currently living right now is not, this ain't the end. You know, it's more to the story. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna have to just, you know, get up and work a 6 to 6. You know, as you say, they used to say a 9 to 5, but shit, but now, really, your hours is 6 to 6. Can't see in the morning, can't see at night. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, we weren't put here just to work and slave for Esau and retire and, you know, have a pension and die off. You know what I'm saying? That's a miserable life. The Lord promised that we will be kings and priests, right? That we will have rulership over our enemies, right? That's what we're waiting for. That's what we look forward to, right? And knowing that, believing it like you know it, right? It gives us comfort. You know what I'm saying? And when shit hits the fan, we will understand why. All right? And the why is, hey, the Heavenly Father is judging this place. All right? And He has to put Babylon down so that the kingdom of heaven can be ushered in. Because two kings can't sit on the throne at the same time. All right? Esau has to be put down so Jacob can be raised up. You know? Balance. I didn't realize it was the third verse, but that's pretty much all I got right now. Maybe, Lord willing, I'll revisit this at some other time, but just, you know, a little spiritual talk and break down, you know, speaking as a man, but just, again, some spiritual concepts to this song, American Pie. So, Lord willing, this was edifying with that. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone everywhere. Well, peace and salutation to the Hakim that's pushing His word in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom.